Emma here from Team Living Your Dream, and this is your 7-minute success secrets for today. And today I want to talk to you about mindset, because mindset is absolutely central to your success, or not, as the case may be, in anything you want to do in life. And I mean, you must have heard, positive mindset bandied about, and you've heard people talk about it before. It's nothing new. Do you follow that or not? And can it be changed? When people talk about I'm a glass half full or I'm a glass half empty type of person, often they just believe that they are a glass half empty type of person. There's nothing they can do about it. Of course there is. It's all about your mindset. It is your brain. It's how you think. It belongs to you and it takes instruction from you. It's not some artificial intelligence that's been programmed without your knowledge. Yeah, we grow up learning and we learn off the people around us, and that will affect how we think. But ultimately, at the end of the day, how you think is down to you. And what's even more important is how you think determines how you feel, and how you feel determines how you behave, and how you behave determines the outcome. And it's the difference between this, right? If you think of your brain in two parts, we often think, there's two people inside us conflicting. We hear things talk about, the devil on one shoulder and the angel on another. And there's all sorts of analogies around about our two different brains. Now we have a primitive brain that we share with all animals that is responsible for keeping us safe. And we have an intellect, which is a very uniquely human thing. It's something we have developed that allows us to think rationally and reason about things and not to just react. Now, if you think in a negative way, what happens when you're telling yourself this won't happen or that won't happen, or you worry about the future, you negatively forecast the future, your brain doesn't know the difference between thinking about bills and not being able to pay them, or worrying about money, or worrying about something else, and some dangerous animal or some disaster that's going to happen. It just understands the emotion coming from negative thinking. So what will happen is the primitive part of your brain responsible for your fight or flight will kick in and activate. Now, that is there to keep you safe, appropriate if we've got dangerous animals around, or if we are in some life-threatening situation. But it's not appropriate for everyday life, because what it will do is it will keep you in your comfort zone. It will keep you doing the same old things again and again. Because, if yesterday you survived, it'll encourage you to do it again. Might not be appropriate. And the biggest thing of all is, if you want something different to happen, you've got to step outside your comfort zone and do something different. Now, when you're thinking from your intellect, from the positive part of your brain, what happens instead of this primitive brain keeping you doing the same old things you know and the same old things you've done before, is it starts working out how to make how you're thinking happen. So you can only think about, in your conscious brain, you can think about 5 or 7 pieces of information, give or take 2. Okay, we can't possibly hope to take in, analyse and be aware of everything around us. So we have this subconscious or unconscious part of our brain, as some people think of it, that is responsible for acting on our behalf when we're not consciously thinking about something. And what we allow into our brain is filtered. And what is filtered in and out is dependent on how we think, or what's important to us, or what we're thinking about. So say, for example, you're thinking, like I'd quite often do, is about my yacht in the future, or how life is going to be. What happens is, when you think about the positive things you want in life, about where you want your life to be, you start switching the parameters, changing the parameters in your mind that filter in and out information. Now, you've probably come across this before. I'm sure you have. If you've I don't know, bought a new car or got married or had a baby or something like that. You know, as soon as you're thinking about that particular thing, all around you, those things seems to be happening. So say, for example, you're going on holiday to Florida. You will suddenly start noticing everything about Florida. Suddenly there'll be adverts about Florida on the TV, or you'll see a commercial somewhere else, or somebody else you know will be going to Florida. These things go on around you all the time. You're just not noticing them. But when you start thinking about these things yourself, then the parameters in your brain switch and you start filtering in any information that is relevant. And the same is going on about your future success. If you're thinking in a positive way about how to solve a problem, of how to get something done, about how to bring leads in, if you're thinking, how can I bring leads in? Your brain will start noticing information and coming up with ideas, and your intuition will start telling you what you've got to do. For example, learn something new. But if you're thinking about, oh, I never get any leads in, I can't get leads, I don't know how to do it, they're not happening, everything I try just isn't working, then you're not doing anything new. Your brain has nothing to work on. It can't work on what not to do. It can only work if you give it positive instruction, which is why it's so important to think in a positive light of what you can do. Because how you think determines how you feel, and how you feel determines how you behave and what you can and can't do. So we've only got 7 minutes, so that's a little bit rushed, but basically it's one of the reasons your unconscious or your subconscious is massively, massively powerful. You've got to give it positive instruction of what to do, and that means positive thinking. So until tomorrow, this has been your 7-minute success secret for today. I've been Emma Triplett, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.